इसलिए आवाज चालू થઈ ગઈ માફું જેડી મને ચાલુ કરવા યાર તમને ખબર પડે
ઓન કર્યું
જો તો हेलो हेलो
हेलो
नितिन सर
हाँ सर
हाँ अवाज રાખજો થોડો વોલ્યુમ ઊંચું કર ફૂલ કર હા હવે જોજો એડજસ્ટ કરું છું
हाँ
બરાબર દેખાય એટલે બોલજો બરાબર છે
बराबर છે ડન ડન હવે ના કરશો
એક જ મિનિટ
ઓકે
બરાબર છે એકદમ
હા હા એકદમ
હા
ક્લિયર દેખાય છે બી
હે
ક્લિયર દેખાય છે
ઓકે
અને પેલું કાલ વાળું જે લાઈટ ચેક કરી લેજો
તમને બરાબર લાગે છે લાઈટ નો પ્રોબ્લેમ આવે છે
લાઈટ નો પ્રોબ્લેમ કદાચ તમે કોર્નર પર લખશો રાઈટ સાઈડ ના ટોપ પર
લખેલું છે ને બધું જોઈ લો ને તમે મને જ નહીં લાગતું હવે કેવું દેખાય
ક્લિયર જ છે
હવે કયું ક્લિયર છે
ચાલશે.
આ ક્લિયર છે
હા એ ક્લિયર છે
હા
Last
કે
colour.
હવે જોજો હા
ના ના એચ થોડુંક હાઈડ થાય છે
બોલો હવે
ડન ડન ઓકે
ઓકે કેટલા જોઈન થયા નિતિન સર
52
જો આવે છે ને બધા
હા આવે છે
કહેજો તમે મને
હા
સ્ટાર્ટ કરો એવું કહેજો એટલે હું સ્ટાર્ટ કરી દઈશ થેન્ક યુ 4:30 થઈ ગયા છે હવે
હા 57 એડ થયા છે
60 65 થવા દો ને 2-5 મિનિટ આપીએ 4:35 સુધી વાંધો નહીં
હા 4:35 સ્ટાર્ટ કરીએ એવું હોય તો
હા બસ એવું આટલે ઉભી જાઓ. કેટલા થયા રીતેન સર?
69.
Can you start now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon, dear students. Now, today we are going to discuss about the conductivity. You might have studied in physics. Conductivity are of two types. Yesterday I told you. One is metallic, which is also called electronic conductivity, and second is ionic. Now you know that metallic conductivity means when electrons are in motion, they conduct electric current. But that type of conductivity is possible in case of metal, so it is called metallic conductivity. And it is due to electrons, so it is called electronic conductivity. And second is ions. When electrolyte is dissolved in water, it dissociates into ion. For example, NaCl. When NaCl is dissolved in water, it dissociates into Na plus and Cl minus. That ions are capable of moving in the solution, and that's why they conduct electricity. That's why they are called ionic conductivity. Now we'll discuss both of them in detail. The first is metallic conductivity. In metallic conductivity, electrical conduction takes place through metal, and that is due to the movement of delocalized electron. Delocalized means which are free to move, right? It depends on three factors: nature and the structure of metal. Second is number of valence electrons, right? And third is temperature. In this you have to remember that conductivity, metallic conductivity decreases with increase in temperature. So from this they can ask you a short question also. Yeah, MCQ. Two notes are there. During metallic conductivity, there is no change in the composition. So there is no change in the composition of metallic conductors. Means if you take a copper wire and through that the conduction takes place, then there is no change in the composition of copper. So that you have to remember. And second, we all know that pure water, this also we have studied in 11th, that pure water is a weak electrolyte. So the concentration of H plus and OH minus ion in pure water is 10 raised to minus 7 molar. And therefore, water have very low conductivity. Have conductivity, actually it should be very low conductivity. And that is of the order of 3.5 into 10 raised to minus 5 Siemens per meter. Second is ionic conductivity. Ionic conductivity, conduction taking place due to free ions in aqueous solution. I told you right now, NaCl. NaCl solid, if it is solid, it cannot conduct electric current. But when dissolved in water, it forms an aqueous solution. In aqueous solution, Na plus and Cl minus ions are free. So they conduct electric current. It depends on 5 factors. These two questions can be asked. On which factors metallic conductivity depends, on which factors ionic conductivity depends. So it depends on 5 factors. Nature of electrolyte added. We have studied in 11th. Electrolytes are of two types: strong and weak electrolyte. Second, nature of solvent and viscosity. If the electrolyte added to the solvent is more viscous, then the movement of ions will be less, right? So conductivity will be less. Third is concentration of electrolyte, dilute or concentrated. Fourth is temperature. Here you can see, in this case, it increases with increase in temperature. So ionic conductivity increases with increase in temperature. Metallic conductivity decreases with increase in temperature. So this you have to remember one. Then size of the ions produced and their solution. Again, size, if the size goes on becoming bigger and bigger, so due to mass increase, the movement of ions becomes less, right? So conductivity decreases. So this is also an important point. Here also there is one note. Here we have written that there is no change in the composition of metallic conductors. But here, composition of ionic conductors changes due to electrochemical reaction. Because initially you have taken electrolyte NaCl, but when you are dissolving in water, it is dissociated. While in this case, metals are not dissociated due to flow of electrons. So this.
Sir, unmute થઈ ગયું.
સર મ્યુટ થઈ ગયું છે.
હેલો રીતેન સર, અવાજ નહીં આવતો. જેડી સર નો અવાજ મ્યુટ થઈ ગયો છે.
हेलो हेलो रितेन सर.
हाँ सर.
हाँ, स्क्रीनशॉट ले लीजिए.
ના સર તમારું મ્યુટ થઈ ગયું હતું.
આવી ગયો અવાજ?
હા.
ઓકે,
Done.
હવે કોક સનાસ કરીને આવે છે, જોજો એને એડમિટ કરજો, એનો કોલ આવ્યા કરે છે.
ઓકે શહનાઝ.
સનાઝ, SANAZ. Now, the next topic is measurement of conductivity of ionic solution. Measurement of conductivity of ionic solution. Unknown resistance can be accurately measured by Weston bridge. Yesterday when we have discussed about the resistance, I told you there is one instrument to measure the resistance, and that is Weston bridge. So unknown resistance can be accurately measured by Weston bridge. But two problems arises. Number one, using DC current. So when we use DC power, composition of solution changes. So this is the problem. When we are using the direct current, DC power, the composition of the solution changes. Right? And second problem is cannot connect. Cannot connect means we cannot connect solution. Cannot connect solution directly to the bridge. To the bridge means Weston bridge. We cannot connect the solution directly to the Weston bridge like wire, metallic wire, or you can say solid conductor, right? So these are the two problems arises when we are trying to measure the resistance of an ionic solution, right? Now, the problems can be resolved and we have the solutions. What are the solutions? Problem 1 can be resolved, or can be solved by using AC power. Instead of DC, if you use alternate current, then there will be no problem of change in composition. And problem number 2 can be solved by using various designed conductivity cell. various design conductivity cell. And there are different types of conductivity cell available, but we have to study two. Two conductivity cells are given in our textbook. So we will study two conductivity cell. One is horizontal and another is vertical. Both the types of cells are designed in our textbook, or it is given in our textbook. I will draw both of them. First, horizontal. Horizontal conductivity cell. So I am writing CC. In this case, from here you can fill the solution whose conductivity is to be measured, right? It is horizontally. Here platinum plate are fixed at both the ends. This platinum plate is connected with a platinum wire for the connection, external circuit. Right? You can say connecting circuit, or you can say wire. Sorry. This is the design of a horizontal conducting cell. Here you can put a solution. Right? So this is platinum plate coated with platinum black, and coating is done by depositing electrochemically the platinum powder. Here also this is platinum plate coated with platinum black, and that platinum black is deposited on this platinum plate electrochemically, right? So this is one of the horizontal conductivity cell design which is used to measure the resistance of a solution, ionic solution. Second is vertical. So I'm drawing here vertical CC, conductivity cell. In vertical conductivity cell, here also there are two electrodes with a platinum plate. This is a platinum plate. Same, coated. Now you can understand coated means coated with platinum black, right? Deposited electrochemically. Then you have to connect it. And here these are the wires for external circuit. Yeah, you can say for connecting the circuit. So these are the two external wires. This is taken in one vessel. Right, you can dip it or you can take right like this. This is your cell. So this is vertical conductivity cell. This is horizontal conductivity cell. Now what you have to do? You have to dip here also. these two electrodes are dipped in a solution whose conductivity is to be measured. Here also, here directly you have to put the solution from here, and the platinum plate will be directly in contact with the solution. So using this conductivity cell, you can find out the resistance, and you know how to find out the resistance. Resistance. Now one more important point here, the distance between two platinum plate is L, and area of cross section is equal to A, right? Now we know the formula, resistance is equal to rho L by A. This we have studied yesterday. Using this formula you can find out the resistance, which is also you can write like this, L upon kappa into A. Why? Because yesterday we have written that kappa is equal to 1 by rho. This is 1 by rho. So here rho is up, so kappa will go down, because kappa is equal to, we know that kappa is equal to 1 by rho. Both are inversely proportional, so I have placed here. Now important point is, this can also be written like this, G asterisk by kappa. So your R is equal to G asterisk, R is equal to G asterisk by kappa. Clear? Now you can understand what is G asterisk. G asterisk is a symbol for L by A, and yesterday we have discussed that L by A is called cell constant. So using this formula you can find out the resistance, and once you find out the resistance, then you can connect this resistance, or you can connect this conductivity cell with a Wheatstone bridge to find out the accurate resistance. Clear? So you can take a screenshot, and then we'll continue.
Done, sir.
Okay. Now I'm continuing this theory. The measurement of L and A is unreliable, and the measurement of L, length, and A, area, is unreliable. So to find out the value of L by A, which is G asterisk, which is also called cell constant, we have to use KCl solution of known conductivity. Right? We have to use a KCl solution of known conductivity. It may be 1 molar, it may be 0.1 molar, it may be 0.001 molar. You can refer the textbook for that data, right? Because it is being taken from the standard book, and it is being measured experimentally, right, after standardization. So the measurement of L and A, it is unreliable. So to find out the value of L by A accurately, you have to use KCl solution. So this can be asked in MCQ also. How to find out the value of L by A accurately? The value of cell constant L by A can be accurately measured by using a known solution of KCl having known conductivity. The conductivity of KCl solution should be known. Now, we know G asterisk. G asterisk is equal to L by A, right? And earlier we have written one equation. So that is equal to, can I write it? R into kappa. Because earlier we have written resistance is equal to L kappa into A. But L by A is G asterisk, right? So here I can write G asterisk, here kappa. So what will be your G asterisk? G asterisk will be is equal to R into kappa. So this is your equation. So you have to remember this. Now once you find out the value of L by A, now you connect this with the Wheatstone bridge. After finding out the value of L by A, connect the conductivity cell, connect the conductivity cell with Wheatstone bridge. Now how to connect that, I will show you the diagram. The diagram is like this. This is P. This is R1. R1 is a variable resistance. Variable resistance, right? This is detector. P is a detector. Detector can be headphone or other electronic device. ED I have written electronic device. You can use any other electronic device, right? This is R3. This will be R4. And here you can connect your conductivity cell. And this Wheatstone bridge is fed with O. O stands for oscillator. Oscillator is a source of AC power having radio frequency around 550 to 5000 cycles per second. So this is an oscillator connected over here. This is a DP. P is a detector, right? And this is R1, R2, R3, and this is R2. So R1, R2. R2 is unknown resistance. Unknown resistance means the resistance which is to be measured. By resistance means the resistance of ionic solution which is to be measured, that you have to take it in a conductivity cell because it is unknown and then connect like this. This is a main circuit and this is a Wheatstone bridge. Using this, you can find out the unknown resistance R2. R2 can be calculated using the formula R1 into R4 by R3. So this is the formula to find out the unknown resistance. Now important point is how to balance this bridge. The bridge is balanced when no current pass through the detector. So that point also you have to write it. The bridge is balanced when no current is passing through detector. Detector means your P. So using this you can find out your conductivity of ionic solution. One important point nowadays, digital conductivities. Yeah, conductometer. Nowadays, cheaper digital conductivity cells. Yeah, conductivity meters, you can say, are available in the market commercially, I can say. Right? And you'll go for higher studies, you can use the digital conductometer to find out the conductivity of ionic solutions. No need to use this Wheatstone bridge. One important point, this Wheatstone bridge practical you are going to do in physics, right? In 12th standard. So this is over. Riten sir.
Done, sir.
Okay. Now, one more important point related to this topic is there that conductivity of solution of different electrolyte. I'll write kappa. Kappa, you know conductivity. Conductivity of solutions of different electrolyte in same solvent. In same solvent at a given temperature. Conductivity of solution of different electrolyte in same solvent at a given temperature differs due to, this is important point, it differs due to 4 factors you can say. Number 1 is charge. Second, size of the ions. It may be cation or it may be anion. Third, concentration of ions produced during dissociation. And fourth, we know when ions are produced, they are free to move. So what about the movement? So it depends on movement of ions under electrical potential. Under electrical potential, right? So these are the 4, you can say potential or electrical gradient also. The word used is gradient. You can use this word, you can use any one. So this is also one important question, maybe asked in MCQ or maybe asked in 2 marks, that conductivity of solutions of different electrolyte. Let us take an example of different, you can say NaCl and KCl. So conductivity of NaCl and KCl in the same solvent. Let us take a same solvent like water, right? At a given temperature, they differs. Why they differs? It is due to charge on the ions, size of the ions, concentration of the ions produced, and the main important point is movement of ions under the electrical gradient, yeah, electrical potential. So this is one other important point. Next is molar conductivity. Molar conductivity, lambda m. The definition of molar conductivity, lambda m, is the conductance of 1 mole electrolyte. The conductance of 1 mole electrolyte solution, 1 mole electrolyte solution kept between 2 platinum electrodes in a conductivity cell at a distance L, at a distance L, and separated by, yeah, you can say, and area of cross section A is called lambda m. Lambda m means molar conductivity. Lambda is a symbol of conductivity. This is also called lambda. So lambda m is called molar conductivity. Now, molar conductivity lambda m is given by the equation kappa by C. Conductivity by C. C is concentration, where C is concentration in mole per meter cube, and kappa, you know, conductivity, but unit of conductivity we know, Siemens per meter. So now what will be the unit of lambda m? The unit of lambda m will be equal to kappa. Kappa is Siemens per meter. Siemens per meter. And this is mole per meter cube. Mole per meter cube. So now you can understand. This will go up. So it will be Siemens meter cube and -1. So meter square per mole. Or you can use Siemens centimeter square per mole. Both the units are used, and this can be asked or have been asked in the examination in form of MCQ. Different units will be given. You have to find out the correct answer. Clear? Now important point, one more important point is also given, that 1 mole meter cube. It is given that 1 mole meter cube is equal to 1000 liter meter cube into molarity. Moles per liter. This is given. Right? So this also you can put it, and finally when you put it and convert it into centimeter, your molar conductivity will be equal to kappa into 1000 by C, where C is concentration in molarity. So I'm writing like this, C in molarity. Right? Now another is also there. It is not given, but I am writing here. But they are asking in the exam, equivalent conductivity. Equivalent conductivity. This is not in our textbook, but still they are asking. Now nothing is different. Here you can see molar conductivity, concentration in molarity. Here it is equivalent. You have studied in 11th standard in first chapter. Equivalent weight comes for normality. So here, when the concentration is in molarity, it is called molar conductivity. When concentration comes in terms of normality, it becomes equivalent conductivity. So the symbol for this is lambda EQ, and lambda EQ is also same, 1000 kappa into 1000 by C, but C is in normality. C means concentration should be in normality. So now you can make a unit also. If the unit of this is Siemens meter square per mole, so what will be the unit of lambda EQ? Unit of equivalent conductivity will be equal to Siemens meter square. There is no change here, but instead of per mole, it will be gram per equivalent. And this also have been asked as an MCQ in your board exam as well as in your competitive exams. So this was about two types of conductivity, molar conductivity and equivalent conductivity. Okay. Riten sir.
Done, sir.
Okay. Now variation of conductivity and molar conductivity, both. Kappa I am writing in short, conductivity, variation in conductivity and molar conductivity with concentration. Right. Now, both kappa and lambda m changes with concentration of electrolyte. So as concentration of an electrolyte changes, kappa and lambda m also changes with change in concentration, right? Now, both kappa decrease in concentration. Kappa decreases with decrease in concentration. Right? When you decrease the concentration, what will happen? Decrease in concentration, because with decrease in concentration, volume increases. So, number of ions per unit volume in the solution decreases. Right? So this is the reason that why conductivity decreases with decrease in concentration. कौन बोला? Hello? Who is disturbing? Now we know that G is equal to kappa into A by L. This we have studied yesterday. G is equal to kappa into A by L, right? And G is also equal to, you can write kappa, or one more point you can write, and if A is equal to volume and length is equal to 1, therefore G will be equal to, this is kappa. So kappa into A by L. A is volume, area means the volume of the solution, that will be the area, and by length is 1. So it is equal to K into V. Now if you see this equation, therefore I can write G is equal to kappa into V. Or you can write kappa is equal to, this kappa is equal to G by V. This will go down. Now you can see here. What will happen? Conductance will increase with increase in volume. But what about the conductivity? If this volume increases, because then concentration decreases, means you are carrying out dilute solution. Here you are diluting the solution. So due to dilution of solution, concentration decreases. Concentration decreases by dilution. And for dilution, you are adding a solvent. So volume increases. If volume increases, conductivity decreases. So this point also you have to remember, right? Okay. Now, the next point is limiting molar conductivity. Now, what is limiting molar conductivity? First, that we will discuss. It's a new topic, but continue from here. Lambda 0m. The name is limiting molar conductivity. Why limiting molar conductivity? I'll tell you. Another name is also there. The another name of lambda 0m is molar conductivity at zero concentration. Zero concentration. Now, what is meaning of zero concentration? Zero concentration means when your whole ionic solution is being completely diluted, right? Or third, also there is another name, molar conductivity at infinite dilution. See, infinite dilution. When you go on diluting, the concentrated solution becomes dilute solution, and a time will come when the concentration becomes zero. And after the concentration becoming zero, further there is no limit to dilute the solution. That's why it is also called limiting molar conductivity, right? So now we are going to study about limiting molar conductivity lambda m0 in detail for strong and weak electrolyte. For strong and weak electrolyte, lambda m0 changes with change in concentration, but it is only possible to determine lambda m0 for strong electrolyte. Riten sir. One more point, if you want to write it, then you can take a screenshot. Note lambda 0 m4, both strong electrolyte and weak electrolyte changes with change in concentration. Riten sir.
Done, sir.
Okay. વચ્ચે વચ્ચે કોણ વાતો કરે છે? રિટન સર. Now, lambda 0 m for strong electrolyte. For strong electrolyte. We are going to study for both. The graph is only one. I will draw the graph. The value of lambda 0 m for different electrolytes is different. The value of lambda 0 m for different electrolyte is different. Now, if we plot a graph, I am plotting a graph over here. Of lambda m versus square root of concentration. Concentration on this side increases. Here it is 0. On this side decreases. Means you are diluting. And finally, it becomes 0. Right? For strong electrolyte, when we plotted a graph of lambda m versus square root of c for strong electrolyte and weak electrolyte. I will draw for both. For strong electrolyte, we get a straight line graph. This was a graph for KCl solution. Right? It was experimentally determined. And for weak electrolyte, the graph was obtained like this. This is a graph of weak electrolyte, acetic acid. Right? This is strong electrolyte. In 11th, we have studied this is weak electrolyte. Weak acid is weak electrolyte. And salt of strong acid and strong base is strong electrolyte. So these are the graph obtained. Right? Now, important point is, some may ask that how this is being determined. It is being determined experimentally by one scientist, Kohlrausch. Now, when this graph is extrapolated to 0 concentration, so I'm extrapolating. Here, the concentration becomes 0. We get lambda m0 for a strong electrolyte KCl. But is it possible to extrapolate this graph? No. You can see both are going parallel. So there is no possibility of extrapolating a graph of weak acid, acetic acid. So it is not possible to determine the lambda m0 values for weak electrolyte. Experimentally, it is not possible. For strong electrolyte, it is possible. Clear? So this is important. And why it was called lambda 0 m limiting? Because now there is no further concentration. You can see here. So there are 3 names of this. I told you earlier. Clear? Now, the graph of lambda m versus square root of c for strong and weak electrolyte, we get a straight line graph for strong electrolyte, and for weak electrolyte, we get a curve shaped graph which cannot be extrapolated, right? And here, what is this? Lambda m0. Lambda m0 is called intercept. and you can find out the slope. Slope is equal to minus a, because when it was plotted, we got this equation. Lambda m is equal to, actually based on this equation we have plotted that graph. Lambda 0 m minus a into square root of c. This was our equation. You can compare this equation with the equation of a straight line graph, where lambda 0 m is intercept and a will be the slope. Now, the value of a depends on type of electrolyte, and temperature. It depends on type of electrolyte and temperature. Now, you can say electrolyte, yeah, nature of electrolyte. Electrolyte, what type of electrolyte? Electrolytes, for example, you can take NaCl, you can take calcium chloride, right? You can say barium sulfate. Now, this is 1:1, this is 2:1, and this will be 2:2. In terms of ions, you can see 1:1. This is +2, this is -1, 2:1. This is +2, this is -2, 2:2. So for a particular type of electrolyte, the value of A will be same. Means if I take the value of A for NaCl and value of A for KCl, it will be same. Right? So for a particular type of electrolyte, the value of A is same for a particular type of electrolyte. If you check different electrolyte, it will be different. So this is important point. Now, one scientist, Kohlrausch, he examined lambda 0 m for different electrolytes. He has taken different strong electrolyte. So he examined lambda 0 m for different electrolytes. And concluded that. Now what are the conclusion? From these two conclusion also MCQ or short question is being asked. First, lambda 0 m for KCl minus lambda 0 m for NaCl. He has found out lambda 0 m for KCl practically. Same way NaCl is also a strong electrolyte. So he measured and he has taken the difference. It was found equal to lambda 0 m KBr minus lambda 0 m NaBr, which was also equal to lambda 0 m Ki minus lambda 0 m NaI. So you can see here, I have taken first KCl with NaCl. So in this case, negative ions are same, right? This was, the difference was found to be 23.4 Siemens per meter. It was found to be 23.4 Siemens centimeter per mole. Siemens centimeter square per mole, right? Same way, this time here the negative ions were same. Now he has taken positive ions same. Lambda 0 m NaBr minus lambda 0 m NaCl. This time you can see Positive ion is same. Here negative ions were same. It was also equal to lambda 0 m KBr minus lambda 0 m KCl, and this was found to be 1.8 Siemens centimeter square per mole. So this was the observation made by Kohlrausch by examining lambda 0 m for different strong electrolytes, and then he has taken the difference. So from these two also MCQs are being asked. They may give you any one of the difference and they may ask you the value. Clear? But you can see here from the graph it is not possible to find out lambda 0 m for weak electrolyte. So now we'll discuss about the weak electrolyte. Okay. Then sir.
Capture.
Hello.
Done, sir.
Done? Okay. Now in continuation. On the basis of above values, which we have written, that was 23.4 and 1.8. Kohlrausch has given Kohlrausch's law of independent migration of ions. So this statement can also be asked. Kohlrausch's law of independent migration of ions. Now what is Kohlrausch's law of independent migration of ions? I am writing the statement. The limiting molar conductivity I can write in short also lambda 0 m, limiting molar conductivity lambda 0 m of an electrolyte the limiting molar conductivity of an electrolyte is the sum of individual limiting molar conductivity of an electrolyte is the sum of individual conductivity of cation and anion present in the electrolyte. Cation and anion present in the electrolyte. So now what is meaning of this? limiting molar conductivity lambda m0 of an electrolyte is the sum of individual conductivity. You can write, instead of individual, you can write ionic conductivity. Why? Because it is cation and anion. So instead of individual, you can write ionic conductivity of cation and anion present in the electrolyte. Now let us understand the meaning of this definition. If Na plus and Cl minus are cation and anion of an electrolyte NaCl, of an electrolyte NaCl, then according to Kohlroff's law, what should I write? Lambda 0 of an electrolyte, lambda 0 m of an electrolyte. This time we have taken electrolyte NaCl. So it will be equal to, see, is equal to the sum of individual conductivity. Individual, I told you, it may be ionic, is equal to lambda 0 Na plus sum means addition of individual ions. This is cation and this will be anion. So this is your Kohlroff's law of independent migration of ions. Limiting molar conductivity of an electrolyte is equal to the sum of individual conductivity of cation and anion present in the electrolyte. So I think so you might have understood this definition from this, right? Same way, one more point is given. If an electrolyte dissociates into nu plus and nu minus, that is cation and anion respectively, then according to Kohlroff's law, now using this I can write like this, lambda 0 m, I don't know what is the electrolyte, but we know the cation and anion. So lambda 0 of an electrolyte is equal to nu plus lambda 0 plus mu minus lambda 0 minus. So this is called ionic conductivity of cation plus ionic conductivity of anion. So both are same. This is in general and this is for NaCl. Clear? Now using this concept we can find out the limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolyte. Using this concept we can find out the limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolyte. So now we'll study weak electrolyte. Lambda 0 m for weak electrolyte. Now already I have taught you in the graph. I have shown you that the graph was not a straight line. So we cannot extrapolate the graph to zero concentration. So we cannot get lambda 0 m for weak electrolyte. So experimentally, not possible, right? But if you go on diluting, the solution, the concentration becomes zero, and zero concentration means infinite dilution. And when lambda 0 m, that is infinite dilution, occurs, then what will happen? Alpha, which is called degree of dissociation, will be equal to 1 because it is 100% dissociation taking place, right? Now, alpha is equal to lambda m upon lambda 0 m. This you have to remember. Alpha degree of dissociation will be equal to molar conductivity, the ratio of molar conductivity to that of limiting molar conductivity, right? Now, we know that because you have studied in 11th standard. What do you know? Ka, acid dissociation constant या Kb, base dissociation constant is equal to C alpha square, right? This is equal to C. Put the value of alpha. Alpha is lambda m upon lambda 0 m whole square divided by 1 minus alpha. This was our formula. So 1 minus lambda m upon lambda m0. You can open this bracket. C lambda m whole square divided by lambda m0 whole square. This one will go down. Here I am writing, I am taking cross multiplication, I am doing lambda 0 m minus lambda m divided by lambda 0 m. Now you can see here this lambda 0 and this will be cancelled. So what is left? C lambda m whole square divided by lambda 0 m into bracket lambda 0 m minus lambda m. So you can use this formula in numericals also. They are asking in numericals. Now, the last topic is application of Kohlroff's law. And using Kohlroff's law, we will find out the weak electrolyte, lambda 0 m for weak electrolyte. So the topic is application of weak electrolyte. Sorry. Application of Kohlroff's law to find out lambda 0 m for weak electrolyte. To find out or to calculate lambda 0 m for weak electrolyte. So using Kohlroff's law, this concept, we will find out lambda 0 m for weak electrolyte means we will calculate lambda 0 m. Experimentally it is not possible, but you can do the calculation using Kohlroff's law, and that has been asked so many times in the board examination. So after this, we will discuss about the application. Riten sir.
Done, sir. Captured.
Hello.
Hello. Done, sir.
हाँ डन હવે એક એપ્લિકેશન કરાવી દઉં છું then we'll stop because a new topic is going to be started, right?
Okay, okay.
So if anyone have doubt, we can continue, otherwise you can stop, right?
Okay.
application of Kohlrupp's law. Now I told you what is the application of Kohlrupp's law. Using Kohlrupp's law, of independent migration of ions. Using Kohlrupp's law of independent migration of ions, one can calculate the lambda 0 m for weak electrolytes. Lambda 0 m for weak electrolytes by carrying out addition and subtraction of lambda 0 m for different strong electrolytes. You have to carry out addition and subtraction of lambda 0 m values of different strong electrolytes. Suppose different strong electrolytes will be given to you in the examination. Right now, which lambda 0 m of which different strong electrolytes are required, that I will write it. But in exam, for confusion, instead of giving 3 or 4, they may give you 5 to 10. They may give you 5 to 6. Just for the confusion, right? Right now I'm calculating the application. Question is, calculate lambda 0 m for acetic acid. You all know acetic acid is a weak electrolyte. You will be given lambda 0 m for sodium acetate, lambda 0 m for NaCl, and you will be given lambda 0 m for HCl. See, right now I am taking only those values which I required. But for the confusion, they may give you, instead of 3, they may give you 6 values. You have to choose which value you are going to add and which values you are going to subtract. Right now I am not taking any value, but I am using this concept. Let us see how to calculate. I want lambda 0 m for acetic acid. So what I will do, I will use this 3 and add it and subtract it. So I will use first lambda 0 m CH3COONA, right? Because I want CH3COOH. H also I required CH3COH. So here there is CH3CO. So I have to cancel Na, right? Then plus I want H. So I will get H from here. Lambda 0 m HCl, right? Values will be given, you can put it, but right now we don't require. Now this time I will do plus or minus, that you have to decide. I want to cancel sodium because I don't require sodium. I want to cancel Cl, I don't require Cl. So this will be HCl, lambda 0 m HCl. Clear? Now I am opening this bracket. This will be lambda 0 m CH3COO minus, according to Kohlrupp's law, plus lambda 0 m Na plus. We know NaCl means Na plus, Cl minus. So sodium acetate will be CH3COO minus Na plus, plus lambda 0 m H plus, plus lambda 0 m Cl minus. I'll write it in bracket. Now this is minus sign, so minus lambda 0 m, sorry, this is not HCl, this is NaCl. Oh,
Sir,
sorry,
that is
HCl.
correct. HCl
HCl, this will be NaCl.
minus NaCl.
Two times, I have written 2 times, that's why I am
Yes,
confused, but no problem. This is NaCl, right? This will be Na plus. Now, actually it is Na plus plus Cl minus, but before that there is a sign minus. So I'll write lambda 0 m Cl minus. Now you can see here. This I don't require, but you can see this is lambda 0 m Na plus, which is plus, and this is minus, so it will be cancelled. Same way, plus lambda 0 m Cl minus and minus lambda m 0 Cl minus will be cancelled. What is left? Lambda 0 m Ca3COO minus is left, plus lambda 0 m H plus, and you know this 2 is nothing but lambda 0 m Ca3COOH. So by this way, based on this concept, numericals are being asked, and so many numericals have been asked based on this concept. So this is called application of Kohlraab's law of independent migration of ions. For that, you can calculate lambda 0 m for any weak electrolyte, but for that you have to use strong electrolytes. Which one you have to add it and which one you have to subtract it, that you have to decide yourself. And how to decide, that I have shown you. Then,
Done,
sir?
sir.
Okay. Now, ask them, is there any doubt? Otherwise, we can stop the meeting.
I can't ask them, sir. There is
Yeah.
no option for chatting.
એ કહો એમને, કાર્તિક સર ને કહો. ટેલ કાર્તિક સર. હા, આજે નહીં, કાલે વાંધો નહીં.
Okay, sir.
પણ you can unmute and ask them if anybody have the doubt.
Okay, sir.
Unmute કરીને ખાલી પૂછી લો. One by one they can ask.
Anybody have doubt?
No.
Then you can direct us.
No sir, nahi doubt nahi.
Okay. Stop the meeting here. Riten sir. Riten sir, stop the meeting.
Okay, sir.
Okay.